We're glad you're here today. We want you to feel welcome. This church is a place you can call home, where you can grab a cup of coffee and meet new friends. Today, we're going to sing together, not because we want to be entertained, but because we want to give glory to God. Today, we're going to learn together because we believe God still speaks through the Bible. No matter where you are on your journey, no matter what's in your past, at this church, you are accepted. You're cared about, and you are loved. Thanks for sharing your day with us. Welcome home.
Good morning. It is great to see all of you here this morning. Welcome. Everybody online, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Brian. All right, I need you guys to stand up and let's sing. Let's sing about love. Can we do that? Come on, let's sing. Here we go. We worship the God who was. We worship the God who is. We worship the God who evermore will be. He opened the prison doors. He parted the raging seas. My God, He holds the victory. Let's sing that again. We worship the God who was. We worship the God who is. We worship the God who evermore will be. He opened the prison doors. He parted the raging sea. My God, He holds the victory. Sing, there's joy in the house of the Lord. There's joy in the house of the Lord today. We won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. Our God is surely in this place. We won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. Come on, let's sing it. We sing to the God who heals. We sing to the God who saves. We sing to the God who always makes the way. 'Cause He hung up on that cross and He rose up from that grave. My God, still rolling stones away. There's joy in the house of the Lord. There's joy in the house of the Lord today. We won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. Our God is surely in this place. We won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. Shout out your praise. We were the beggars, now we're royalty. We were the prisoners, now we're running free. We were forgiven, accepted, redeemed by His grace. Let the house of the Lord sing praise. Let's sing that one more time. We were the beggars. We were the beggars, now we're royalty. We were the prisoners, house of the Lord today. We won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. Our God is surely in this place. We won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. There's joy in the house of the Lord today. We won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. Our God is surely in this place. We won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. Shout out your praise. Shout out. Amen. You know, look around, find somebody you haven't said hi to in a minute, or an hour, or ever. Go say hi. Really? You guys just went back and sat down? What's up with that? Come on, keep standing. Let's sing. You know this one. Let's sing. Here we go. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love. Come on, let's do that again. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love. Let's sing higher. Higher than the mountains that I face, stronger than the power of the grave, constant in the trial and the change. There's one thing remains. There's one thing remains. 'Cause your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love. And on and on and on and on it goes. It overwhelms and satisfies my soul. And I never ever have to be afraid. There's one thing remains. There's one thing remains. on, church. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love. Let's go to the bridge. Let's sing. In death, in life, I'm confident and covered by the power of your great love. My debt is paid. There's nothing that can separate my heart from your great love. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on. Come on, church, sing it. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out. Your love, your love. How many of you guys remember last year, February 14th? How special was that? Nobody? Because I distinctly don't remember what my wife got me for for Valentine's Day last year. Anybody remember? Uh-huh. Yeah. Next year when I ask you, I want you to all, as one, say, love of God. Because that's the one thing that does not fail. That's the one thing that is incorruptible. That's the one thing that he gives to everyone, no matter if they believe in him or not. See, I have a problem with that, because he asks me to love like that. And have you stopped to think about that? Because that's really, really hard to do, isn't it? Because it's easy to love my wife. It's easy to love my son. It's easy to love my friends. It's easy to love all the Broncos fans out there. Whatever it is, it's easy to love because we have something in common. Oh, man, but when it's the Chiefs fans, God says, what? Or maybe it's somebody that has hurt you deeply. And God says, what? That's a tough one, isn't it? I just want you to remember, his love never fails. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. One more time. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love never fails, never gives up, never runs out on me. Your love, your love. And that's why I worship him, right? What's the next song we're doing? Ah, yes. Who breaks the power of sin and darkness, whose love is mighty and so much stronger, the King of glory, the King above all kings, who shakes the whole earth with holy thunder and leaves us breathless in awe and wonder, the King of glory, the King above all kings. This is amazing grace. This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love, that you would take my place, that you would bear my cross. You laid down your life, that I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Let's sing. Who brings our chaos back into order? Who makes the orphan a son and daughter? The King of glory, the King above all kings. Who rules the nations? Who rules the nations with truth and justice? Shines like the sun in all of its brilliance. The King of glory, the King above all kings. Let's sing. This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love, that you would take my place, that you would bear my cross. You laid down your life, that I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered this amazing grace. This is unfailing love, that you would take my place, that you would bear my cross. You lay down your life, that I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. One more time. Jesus, I sing. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Amen. There's a place where mercy reigns and never dies. Come on, sing. There's a place where swift streams of grace flow deep and wide, where all the love I've ever found comes like a flood, comes flowing down. You guys sound awesome. Let's keep singing. At the cross, I surrender my life. I'm in awe of you. I'm in awe of you. Where your love ran red and my sin washed white. I owe it all to you. I owe it all to you, Jesus. Church, let's sing. There's a place where mercy and shame are powerless. There's a place. You know what? Let's start that verse again. Since I don't know the words. With God and forgiveness, where all the love I've ever found comes like a flood, comes flowing down. At the cross, I surrender my life. I'm in awe of you. I'm in awe of you. Where your love ran red and my sin washed white. I owe it all to you. I owe it all to you, Jesus. Come on, sing. Here my hope is found. Here on holy ground. Here I bow down. Here I bow down. Here arms open wide. Here you save my life. Here I bow down. Here I bow down. I just want to hear the church at the cross. At the cross, I surrender my life. I'm in awe of you. I'm in awe of you. When your love ran red and my sin washed white, I owe it all to you. I owe it all to you. At the cross, I surrender my life. I'm in awe of you. I'm in awe of you. Where your love ran You may be seated.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? Yeah? How's this side of the room? We're good? All right. It's pretty good. They're doing pretty good. How's this side of the room? All right. Just thought I'd check in a little bit. Before I get started, I want to just kind of invite you to do something. This summer in July, we're going to be doing a series called I Have Questions, and I thought it would be a fun idea to allow anyone and everyone to submit any kinds of faith-based questions you have. Do you have a question, you have a doubt, you have a curiosity, whatever it is, any sort of sincere question that you have, you can submit it. And we're going to take all the questions. You can send this out to friends. They can submit a question, right? It's a great thing to be able to do. Send it to a friend, send it to a coworker, right? Anybody can sort of submit a question, and I think we have a slide for it. Yeah, there it is. So, and we're going to compile all of those questions and then sort of categorize them, right? Because some will be worded a little differently, but sort of be the same thing. We'll go through each and every one of them, and whatever 4 questions get asked the most, right? We're going to take and we're going to design a message around each of those 4 questions, right? Does that sound like a fun time? Yeah? So feel free. You can scan the QR code. You can go to our website. It's on, there's a link on the banner, or you can go to inhillschurch.org/forms/IHQ for I Have Questions. So I want to invite you to do that. If you're a guest today, we'd love your input on that as well, and we're just glad that you're here with us. Make sure you scan the QR code, and you should know that if you want to follow along with where we're headed today, we have some notes in the YouVersion Bible app. So if you have the Bible app on your phone and you want to download it real quick, you can just go to the bottom right-hand corner and go to Events, and you'll find North Hills there. You'll see some sermon notes. It's good to be back. COVID wasn't fun. That was my first round with it, and I feel like it won. I'm here, but it won. You know what I mean? So, but thanks to my dad for starting us off last week on this series, as we're in the middle of a series for single people, right? Often we do these married people series, and this year, I thought as about, according to our recent survey, about 25% of North Hills are single, right? So we want to try and allow this hopefully to resonate with you, but I think things from last week and this week and next week will still resonate with those of us who are married as well. In fact, you might listen to some of this and you might think, well, I wish I knew this when I was younger. I wish I knew this before, and that's okay. But this whole series hangs on one question, and that question is this: are you who the person you're looking for is looking for? Are you who the person you're looking for is looking for? Instead of spending years and years trying to find the right person, trying to find that just perfect person that fills the hole that we have that we feel like we have in our lives, or fills that gap. Instead of trying to find the right person, are you becoming the right person for that person? Focusing on becoming the right person while you can. In fact, if you focus on becoming the right person, the odds are higher that you will meet the right person. And if you neglect becoming the right person, your odds of meeting the right person actually fall. They drop. And so today I want to dive a little deeper into this idea. Last week we had you focus on 1 Corinthians and the character traits in 1 Corinthians 13. And we challenged you, and I enjoy the process of premarital counseling and sitting down with couples that are excited to get married and kind of talking through their lives. And we're going to take some time and we're going to look at a few things that I look at with them today too. So even if you're single, you're going to look at like premarital stuff today, all right? So that's our roadmap for where we're headed. Next week, I also want to just mention real quick, next week, we're going to have kids' church. So during church, there's going to be something. Yeah, Angel's super pumped, by the way. And we're going to do that because here in this room, we're going to talk about some things with kids in that room. We on the same wavelength? We in cahoots? Yeah? Okay. All right. Now, every single weekend around the world, every single weekend on Fridays, on Saturdays, on Sundays, every weekend around the world, people spend thousands of dollars, get dressed up really nice, invite their friends and family to join them, and come together to exchange vows. Every weekend throughout the world. But here's something that you might not have thought of, you might not know, you might not have processed. You see, many of the promises that are being made by people who are not equipped to keep them. By people who are not prepared. They're not lying most of the time. They're not trying to be a person that sort of can't follow through on those promises. But they aren't prepared to follow through on those promises. And so what typically takes place is they make these vows, and as they go through and they're married and they come across different challenges that they weren't really prepared for and things in their life that they weren't trying to work on beforehand. And what happens is each spouse tends to start holding the other person accountable for a vow that they made. But you said this. But you told me that. You made this promise. And you have accountability without ability. Right? In fact, here's one thing I think we can start on the same page. And I think you're going to get this. Promise is never a substitute for preparation. Promise is never a substitute. We know this in every other aspect of life. I can't promise to run a marathon and do nothing till marathon day and hope to complete that marathon, correct? I can't promise to play an instrument for you and never practice it. In every other aspect of life, we know we have this understanding that promise is never a substitute for preparation. But sometimes when we fall in love, we sort of lose our minds, right? And we think, yes, but you don't understand the connection that we have. You don't understand the way the stars aligned just right. You don't understand that we both love the same kinds of dogs. You don't understand our birthdays are in the same season. And we have a song that's just ours. And what happens is we begin to lose touch with the preparation aspect of things. Solomon actually put it this way. He said, it's a trap for a person to declare quickly, this is sacred, and only later to have second thoughts about the vows. It's a trap to rush in and say, oh, yes, this is great, but then to back up and be like, whoa, maybe I wasn't ready to make that promise. Maybe I wasn't prepared to enter into that. Like, this is Solomon. Like, don't take my word for it. I'm not the super wise in any way. But this is the wisest man who ever lived. He says, don't make promises before God only to realize that you can't live up to them. Because your pattern of living actually set you up to fail. In fact, I like, and I want to put it this way. I want you to just kind of remember this phrase. Direction, not intention, determines your destination. Direction, not intention, determines your destination. I can walk to this side of the room because I feel like this side of the room had a great week. And I can say, I intend to walk to that side of the room because it sounded like they had a great week too. Is it going to get me there? No. Why? Because my direction is heading the opposite way. And you will meet, single people, you will meet people who will say they're coming your direction, but will be moving consistently away. And you can hang on to those promises, and you can hang on to those moments, but no matter what, their direction will carry them away, regardless of their promise. Because their intention does not determine their destination. Their direction does. I've heard many things. I've heard, things like, well, my girlfriend's really working to start a business. She hasn't worked in 2 years, but it's going to happen. Okay. Or my boyfriend, he has this internet addiction, but once we get married, it'll totally fix it. Yeah. No, it's a good laugh. It's a good laugh. It's a knowing laugh. We know. We know on this side of the feelings, right? But on the other side of the feelings, it's hard to process. So we need to be clear. Your promise to do something is not what makes you able to follow through on that promise. And when you're accountable for something that you're not capable of, you will be miserable. When you're accountable for a promise that you're not capable of maintaining, you will be miserable because you will know it. You will feel it. You will feel as if you're oppressed by an accountability from the promise that you made. But between now and when you get married, you can prepare. I mean, how cool is that? What an amazing opportunity it is to be single and to have this time when you can prepare to be the person who the person you're looking for is looking for. When you prepare and you use your presence to get ready for your future. The problem is there's probably no less motivating time than right now. I get it. It's hard to find that motivation to sort of work on yourself, right? It feels more fun to sort of pursue the right person than it does to become the right person. But if you make a decision to commit to become a person who can hang with your commitments, can stick with your commitments, if you prepare to be that person now, you'll save yourself loads of heartache and thousands of dollars potentially later, right? Hours in someone's office, loud arguments at home. You'll save yourself all that work by working now to become who the person you're looking for is looking for. Because direction determines destination. And if you're traveling in the one direction, you are more likely to meet someone traveling in that same direction. Sure, there are intersections here and there, but you're more likely to meet whoever that person is. Don't take my word for it. Again, let's go back to the wise guy. Solomon puts it this way, and check out this verse. There's two really cool verses in Proverbs 14. This is the first. The wisdom of the prudent is to give thought to their what? Their ways. Their ways. So the wisdom of the prudent is to give thought, to be aware of what are my ways? What are my patterns of behavior? What are the different habits that I'm developing? What is the direction of my life? What steps am I taking? And it's wise because a wise person knows that the best indicator of their future is their past. And so they're trying to log past habits that they've built up one upon another upon another. They're trying to log things one upon another so that they create a direction for their life. And then because every proverb does this, like a proverb takes and presents one thing and says, but here's the opposite, right? So he finishes this off. But the folly of fools is deception. Now that can be a little confusing, except you have to put it in context. The folly of fools is deception. Deception here is not of other people, like foolish people deceiving others. That's not what Solomon's saying. He's saying the folly of fools is someone that deceives themselves. They're not giving thought to their ways. Instead of what they're giving themselves is lies. Instead of what they're giving themselves is ignorance. They're ignoring the signs. They're not paying attention to their ways. They're kind of looking everywhere else and sort of making excuses. He's saying fools ignore their trends. They ignore their direction. They assume that, you know what, I'm gonna end up in a good spot anyway in life. It'll just happen. I'll just meet the right person, like we talked about last week, and it'll just all come together because I saw a movie and it happened that way in the movie. And then a few verses later, Solomon reiterates. He says this, the simple, no offense, it's Solomon's words, not mine, believe anything. But the prudent, there's that word again, give thoughts to their what? Steps. Give thoughts to their steps. You see, there are moments when you fall in love, when you will believe anything. That's what falling in love, that's kind of what it does to us, isn't it? There's an excitement, there's the butterflies in the stomach, there's the chemistry, there's just those moments where we feel like we're connecting with someone else. And there are these moments when you fall in love and the emotions and the hormones, they're roaring, when you'll believe anything. And you'll run right over your own complex, rational mind. You'll just sort of put it to the side and be like, but this right here, I feel this, and this is the exception to everything my rational mind wants to tell me. And he says, but the prudent person looks at their paths, right? They give thought to their steps. They know that it's not words that matter most. It's behaviors. It's behaviors that are stacked one upon another. see, there's something remarkable about looking at someone's steps. Someone's steps, right? You're out at the beach or wherever you happen to be. Someone's steps, you can tell what? Where they've been. You can tell with a pretty good guess where they're headed, right? Very few people walk like this. And when you think of that person that you might have feelings for, when you think of that person far off, when you think of an individual that you might be interested in, the best indicator of their future is their past. Because it's about their direction, it's about their path, it's about their steps. Yes, now don't get me wrong, you're like, I'm in church. What about transformation and grace and life change? I believe in that stuff. I do too. That's Jesus' job, not yours. Okay? Like that's Jesus' job. Not yours. Your job isn't to foster transformation in this person. Your job is to look at their direction and to say, is this what I want? Are we both prepared to enter into life together? Your business is a great marriage. God's business is grace and transformation. So, as I said, one of the great privileges I have is to talk with couples who are looking to get married, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy being able to meet with them. And I use this assessment that both couples kind of take, and it's not like to assess whether or not you should get married. That's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to assess what have we talked about and what are some areas we might have missed, right? In our conversations as a couple, where might we have missed what it is that we're looking for? And I thought, and I've never done this before, I've never taken and shown what that looks like to single people. But as I was looking at this, I was like, well, what better idea than to see what an assessment would look like before you're looking for an assessment, right? So this is a sample. This is no one's results, so you can know that. Yes. And this is what it looks like. It graphs everything as far as what might be strong, what might be weak. And I'm not saying it's a strength necessarily. It's just that they've strongly discussed it, and they maybe have opportunities to discuss further, right? So the first, I'm going to kind of walk you through these real quick, because I think it can be helpful. The first is communication and conflict resolution. And I'm going to kind of lump those together because they're so intertwined. You can't have one without the other, right? And often I find that one partner wants some time to process something, and then they're ready to talk. And the other partner can be like, I'm ready to talk right now. That's how I work things out. Let's go, right? And so something simple like that is something that might, and I don't know, in your marriages, those of you married people, one of you might be like, oh, that's you or that's you, right? But either way, it's how you process. It's how you deal with communication. It's how you deal with conflict that will come up. Not that might, that will. Now, either way, how you choose to speak to one another matters, correct? Yes? How you choose to speak to other people matters. How you choose to speak to your spouse matters. And it's not a habit that they just start immediately. How they speak to you while that you are dating is how they will speak to you when you are married. Because the best indicator of their future is their past. Okay, we're on the same page. Solomon puts it this way. He says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger? Do you speak with gentleness? Do you speak to understand? Do you speak to listen? Do you have these habits? When disagreements come, are you prepared to enter? And is the person that you're dating, are they prepared to enter into a constructive conflict resolution? Right? The next one in our chart, style and habits. Style and habits. There are lots of styles and habits. Like, this is a broad category, right? There's like cleanliness and diet and sleep. Guys, there's scrolling habits. There's addictions and really hard things that can come up in this category sometimes. And the fact is all of the work that you need to do in this category can't happen when you're married. It has to happen before. Because the best indicator of your future is your past. Your direction, not your intention, determines your destination. And so what you have to, now is this opportunity. Now is this opportunity to work on your own addictions, to work on your own habits, to work on those things in your life. Because it won't magically get easier when you're married. Once you're married, all that stuff, what it will do is it will affect your spouse, making it all more complicated and harder to change. Because you see, marriage, it wasn't intended to fix anything. Marriage, instead, it makes great things even better, and it makes bad things get worse. It's like an amplifier. It amplifies things. It shows off our warts and our weaknesses, and it shows off our strengths. Both. So fix those habits of addiction. Fix those things that you know are part of your daily, weekly life. Excuse me, COVID just did put something in my throat, apparently. Fix those. Yeah, no, it's all right. The revenge. What would it mean for you to be a whole person looking for a whole person? What would that look like? The next category is a fun one. Financial management. Yeah, this is always a big one. Every time. I'm just gonna tell you one thing. Get out of debt. Get out. Get out of debt. This is a big deal. Get out of bad debt, consumer debt. Don't carry that in. Don't add that to the complications of your marriage. Finances can break up marriages faster than almost anything else. If you live a life, first of all, if you live a life that has significant debt, and that's the kind of spending that you did, it is a very difficult habit to break. You will enter your marriage as a person who is not very responsible with their finances. And then you'll have to figure it out together, and one of you might be and one of you might not be, and then there's tension. Both of you might not be very good at it, and then there's chaos. Right? Get out of debt. Solomon tells us this often quoted if you've been to FPU text. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is a slave to the lender. You don't want your spouse or yourself to be a slave to anyone else, do you? You don't want your marriage to be held captive by your finances. So Steve will be in the back, and he can sign you up for FPU. By the way, there's a teen version that's going to be happening on Saturday morning. So teenagers, super pumped up about it. It starts February 24. So it's coming up too. All right, the next category, leisure activities. Leisure activities, and we'll be quick. And this kind of gets categorized in this. Anything in excess is a problem, right? Sports in excess is a problem. Gaming in excess is a problem. Social media in excess is a problem. Work, while you wouldn't typically categorize it as leisure activities, in excess is a problem. You see, don't let your passions kill your priorities. Don't get so passionate about something that it makes your priorities all out of whack. Find a way to, yes, enjoy your passion, enjoy your hobby, enjoy that thing, but don't give it control of your priorities. Are you with me? Excuse me. Analyze, choose your priorities, put them in order, do it intentionally, and then make sure your life matches up with those priorities. Our family and friends, is God really number one in your life? Can you tell by your calendar? Is family really the second most important thing? And friends, can you tell by your calendar, by your steps, by your direction? Because you don't want to enter marriage and find that you're prioritizing your hobby over your spouse, or your interest over your family. The next one is sexual expectations. I almost just said, come next week. Come next week. But ladies, don't dress like a commodity. And don't allow anyone to treat you like one. Right? When I was young, my Uncle Steve, oh, that would be great, thank you. My Uncle Steve used to take me fishing. Do we have any fishermen? Anybody like fishing? I know Crew's somewhere in here maybe. Yeah, we got at least a couple of fishermen. It's a rare thing to find in Southern California, I feel like. SoCal's not this like congregation of fishing types of people, right? So, do you know how a fisherman chooses their bait? Based on what they want to catch. Based on what they want to catch. And if you dress a certain way, what will happen is you'll find you catch a certain kind of person. And you'll catch them again, and you'll catch them again, and you'll catch them again. And you'll be like, all men are the same. You'll have this thought. You'll be like, all guys, they're just pigs. They're all the same. But they're not. It's just all the guys that you are attracting that are the same. Are you with me? It's not all guys. It's the guys that you set yourself up to attract. How does your dress indicate who you're fishing for? If you catch him with your body, you'll have to keep him with your body. And that's not a lifelong process that'll work. Because your body won't be with you your whole life. You might look great right now. That's life. And guys, you really need to show up next week. It's going to get uncomfortable maybe next week, but good. The habits of how you look at women will not magically change when you get married. It will not somehow, you aren't going to just start talking about women differently. You're not just going to somehow start looking at women differently because you've got your one. The habits you create, you will take them into your marriage. I know you're really excited for next week, right? As part of this, let me also say this, postpone the physical as long as possible. Postpone the physical part of your relationship as long as possible. So long that they might wonder if you're really interested. That kind of long. No one ever said, you know what I wish in our relationship? I wish we had gotten physical faster. Those words have never been uttered. And if he doesn't want to wait, show him the door. If she doesn't want to wait, she can go talk to a therapist. Because self-control before marriage determines your self-control in marriage. Self-control is one of those paths that must be walked, right? You don't magically, I could have self-control when I want to. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Proverbs, again, Solomon chimes in. He says, like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. What's wrong with a city with its walls broken through? It doesn't have any protections. It can't keep anyone safe. It's dangerous. It's life-threatening. And there are certain, self-control is like this wall that is made to protect you from injuring yourself, hurting yourself in your life, and from hurting the lives of others. And when you abandon self-control, you abandon those protections. When you don't choose to work on your self-control, to develop your self-control, you've made a decision that you don't want that kind of a relationship that's protected and safe. And part of this, I'm going to mention just because I pretty much always mention it in premarital counseling as well. Avoid living together. The statistic, and it's not, I'm not even going to give you the spiritual part of that. Statistically, if you're living together before marriage, your chances of divorce are significantly higher. You can look it up. You can go Google it, search it up. In fact, someone who's lived with 2 or 3 people before they get married the first time has almost a 0% chance of that marriage staying together. 0%. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot, especially considering we have all next week. So here's the next category. The next category is family and friends, right? Family and friends. Let's be honest. We all have things from our childhood that we kind of got to work through. I love my parents, mom, dad, they're right there. I love them. There are things I have to work through because they were my parents. I love my son and my daughter. There are things they're going to have to work through, possibly significant things, I don't know, but because I am their father. Because we're all flawed people, right? And your life, in some ways, is a reaction to your family. In some ways, it's a reaction to your family. And so, while the Bible says all sorts of things about how parents should be, could be, hope to be, need to be, parents just aren't sometimes. And you need to process why you are the way you are, because if you don't, if there was a dad that was never around, if there was some sort of unhealthy or abuse or relationship that was unhealthy in some way, you're going to carry that right on into your marriage. And you're going to find yourself arguing, and you'll be like, I can't be late. It's not something I can do, or whatever it happens to be, whatever the little hiccup is that you're carrying with you, and it's going to become so much bigger than it would be otherwise because you haven't resolved and figured that part out. Only about 50% of kids grow up with their biological parents. So whatever it is that you might be dealing with, it's normal too. It's normal too. But we have to take some time. We have to process it. We have to work through it. And it's a lot harder to do that once you're in that relationship. Are you with me? The final couple, or the next one, is character traits. So we can go back, like character traits is, we can go back, we could look at 1 Corinthians 13:4, right? Love is patient, love is kind. Does this describe your character? Does this describe who you're becoming? And you can go back, and if you weren't here last week, you can listen to last week's message, because that's what that was all about. Are you growing in your patience, in your kindness, in your self-control, your forgiveness, your trust, your hope, your persevering? Are those things that are growing in you? And then finally, the final category is interfaith, interchurch on the assessment. And if you're not a Christian and you're dating a Christian, okay, I want to tell you something. Their motives for you are not totally above board. If you're dating a Christian, that Christian that you're dating wants you to become a Christian. You need to know that up front. And if that's not something you're interested in, you should go find a pagan that will accept you for the way you are. Because they're going to want you to become a Christian because they already feel a little bit guilty about it. I'm just going to describe what's going on. They already feel a little bit guilty about it, and they're not quite sure how to approach it, and and their family's on their side most likely, by the way. Chances are pretty high that they're also, and I can prove it because you're here or you're online with that person probably, right? And so that's great. But to become the person who you're looking for is looking for. To become who the person you're looking for is looking for. It's important that faith aligns. It just is. And in fact, I'm going to take it a step further. To become that person, the person that you're looking for is looking for, you need to not only just have faith, you need to be involved in church. You need to be involved. Because when you're serving, when you're part of the next gen team, or you're a deacon, or you're taking time to serve other people in our community through our service partners, when you're involved in church, when you're active and you're part of a small group and you're connecting with other believers during the week, when these are habits that are part of your life and they're shaping your life, they're giving you direction. They're a key part of the direction of your life, not just the intention of your life, the direction of your life. And you won't enter the marriage and suddenly become more active in faith. Because once you enter marriage, there's more distractions, not less. There's more things to do. It's harder to get involved, not easier. And you want to have that direction to your life where you have a supportive community, where you're making a positive difference in the lives of people around you, because that's the kind of person that you're looking for too. And when you're heading in that same direction, you have a better opportunity to meet someone who is also heading in that direction. So here's my challenge for you for this week. Here's our talk and our walk. And our talk is, what is a promise that you couldn't follow through with? Anybody have one of those? What's a promise that you made that you couldn't follow through with? Maybe something came up. Maybe you discovered you were unable to follow through on that promise. I have started piano, learning to take piano, 3 different times in my life. It is a promise I am unable to follow through on. I don't know why. I haven't bothered to try and figure it out. But it is something I am unable. What is a promise that you couldn't follow through with? And for your walk, what's a direction in your life that you need to work on changing? Find someone who can walk with you on that path. And that's critical. It's lonely to walk a path alone. Find someone, invite someone and say, hey, I really need to work on this. I really need to be more involved in church. I really need to shake this addiction. I really need to line up a healthier habit in this way. I really need to, whatever it happens, I really need to work on my conflict resolution skills and being more gentle in my approach. Whatever it happens to be, invite someone to journey with you through that process so that your direction becomes an indication of your destination. Because it's direction, not intention, that determines destination. Would you bow your heads with me? Father God, thank you that, God, that you are good, that you love us in our brokenness, in our mess, that you love us in the midst of everything that is just feels like there's holes in our life sometimes. And God, may we do the work, the preparation that you call us to. May we discover the wisdom of writers like Solomon. May we discover the wisdom of Jesus and how to live the best possible way so that we can carry our best selves into our relationships. So God, just be with us today. May we reflect on you, and may the way we live and speak give glory to you in all things. I pray this in your name. Amen.
How many of you grew up like I did, not rich? Don't be so happy about it.
We borrowed for everything. Want a new couch? Go finance it. Want a new TV? Go finance it.
We were just doing what was normal.
People change their lives when they get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they finally say, that's it, I've had it. This is a wealth-building plan. It's not just a get-out-of-debt plan.
A budget is simply a plan for your money.
You deal with the money stuff, and all of a sudden, you find freedom and connection everywhere.
I feel like I can do more things than I ever could.
You can go from where you are to where you want to be. You're free.
You just got to get started.
So, if we are looking to prepare for success, instead of just promising to succeed, one of the ways that we can prep ourselves to succeed is by joining FPU. So FPU starts up February 21st, and as you heard, we even have a kids series for you guys called Teen and Money. I've been calling it Show Me the Money. Do we have the slide for that, for the Teen and Money? If not, it is starting February 24th, and it's actually going to be at 9:45 a.m. on Saturday, right there in your Sabbath school classroom, okay? So you can prepare for that, and yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be enriching, and you can learn some biblical principles on how to secure yourself financially as a high schooler. Isn't that great? So here at North Hills, we know that faith is not just a talk. Faith is also a walk. It's seen in how we love people. It's also seen in how we treat people. Faith also needs action, right? So I'm going to highlight a few ways we can do that. Okay, first, I want to say that our parsonage committee has decided to postpone the parsonage fundraiser event this month. And as they consider more ideas and options and dates for the Parsonage Project. Now, they are doing a great job. They are doing an amazing job. So let us continue to pray and support them as they lead us on in this mission of this pathway to home, okay? Second, I want to mention our volunteer fair. If you walked into the church, you may have seen some tables right there in the corner there. Now is our time to get connected. I used to say, if you want to get connected here, text connect to 909-679-1980. But now you can just walk out and peruse yourself around the tables and really get plugged in a ministry that you feel God is calling you to, okay? Today is the day to get connected, to get involved, and to make faith not just a talk, but a walk.
One more love song. Church, sing. Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Yeah. When I was your foe, still your love fought for me. You have been so, so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. You have been so, so kind to me. Come on, let's sing. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God, yeah.
Romans 8:35, the Bible asks us, can anything ever separate us from God's love? Hard times, hatred, death. Later on in that passage, the Bible tells us that we are victorious because Christ loves us.
There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. Come on, let's sing. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Come on, sing that again. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Sing it again. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. One more time. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God, yeah. Amen. Have a happy Sabbath. Don't leave. Don't walk out that way. Walk into where all the tables are at. All right? Walk around the tables once, and on your second time around, sign up for something. All right? Go.